Hello everyone. So in this video we are going to discuss how do we manage dehydration per se in children. The most common cause of dehydration in a child would be acute diarrhea. So what we are discussing essentially right now is the management of acute diarrhea, and acute diarrhea in a country like India, developing country like India, is most commonly of an infectious etiology. It's mostly self-relating. Most cases are either caused by rotavirus or E. coli. Now, how do we manage these? Since it's a viral illness, you don't need to give any antibacterial or any antimicrobial therapy. But what is more important in case of a diarrhea, that the child can lose a huge amount of water in those diarrheal stool, and that can lead to dehydration, and this dehydration is the root cause of the diarrheal deaths. Even now in a developing country like India, the under 5 mortality, close to 10 to 15% of the deaths are still attributed to diarrhea. So that should be a huge cause of shame to us, because the diarrheal therapy is rampantly available, the ORS, the oral rehydration salts, and what's required is an effective implementation of these strategies as prescribed by IMNCI, as prescribed by the Government of India, in order to prevent these 10 to 15% of the diarrheal deaths that occur in the under 5, that are the cause of the under 5 mortality in our country. Now, what happens if a child comes to you with diarrhea and he is in dehydration? You have to recognize what is the severity of that. So, according to the IMNCI, there's the 3 categories there. He has none, he has no dehydration, or he has some dehydration, or he has severe dehydration. You're going to look at the 4 signs, and what is the condition of the child, how are the eyes of the child, how is the mouth and the tongue of the child, and how is the skin pinch. Now, if his condition, he's alert, active, his eyes appear normal, he's moist, the mouth and the mucosa appear moist to you, and the skin pinch goes back fast, then in such case the child is said to have no dehydration at that point of time. He's just having diarrheal stool, and he does not have the amount of dehydration is less than the amount of body weight that has been lost because of dehydration is less than 5% or less than 50 ml per kg. In case of some dehydration, if any of these 2 signs are positive, are present in the child, then he's said to have some dehydration. So if he's restless, his eyes are sunken, his mouth and tongue appear dry, and his skin pinch goes back slowly, if any of these 4 signs, any of these 2 or more than 2 are there, then he's said to have some dehydration. The child might have, his mouth and tongue might be moist, his skin pinch might go back quickly, but he's appearing to you, he's very restless, and his eyes are sunken. In such a scenario, you'll call that child as be having some dehydration. Or let's say he is alert, his eyes are also normal, but his mouth appears dry to you, and his skin pinch goes back slowly. Again, 2 out of these 4 is said to have some dehydration. Now, in case of severe dehydration, the child is unconscious, lethargic, the eyes are very, very sunken, the skin pinch goes back very slowly, and the mouth and the tongue are very dry. If any of these 2 are there, so basically the child is, let's say the child is alert and eyes are normal, but his mouth and tongue appear to you appear very dry, and the skin pinch is going back very slowly. Again, 2 out of these 4 is very severe. The child, his mouth and tongue are moist, his skin pinch is going back quickly, but his eyes are very sunken, he's lethargic. Again, he's suffering from severe dehydration. Now, what is the management of any child who's presenting to you with a dehydration? We have to ensure rehydration, ensure adequate feeding, because he's having diarrhea, so you have to ensure that he's having adequate feeding. Zinc has been shown to decrease the duration of diarrhea, and so there should be an oral supplementation of zinc, and at the same time recognize danger signs and management of any concomitant complication that might be presenting to you with diarrhea. The entire cornerstone of therapy of management of dehydration and acute diarrhea is ORS. Now, earlier the ORS that was prescribed at WHO used to have an osmolality of 311, which has been changed to the 245 in the current low osmolar solution of ORS. The reason for that was that it was found that low osmolar solution decreases the frequency of stool, it decreases the days of diarrheal illnesses, and it does not increase the risk of hyponatremia. So new low osmolality ORS was prescribed, and one of the cornerstones of this new low osmolality ORS was that sodium and glucose, they were in equal osmoles. So sodium also had 75 millimoles per liter, and glucose also had 75 millimoles per liter. The total osmolality was 245, chloride was 65, potassium was 20, and citrate was 10. These numbers are actually very, very important for you. So sodium is 75, chloride is 65, glucose is 75, potassium is 20, and citrate is 10. These numbers are very important for you and can be asked in an entrance examination, so you have to remember these numbers. What is the amount, what is the millimole per liter content of sodium in the new osmolality, new low osmolality ORS solution? The answer is 75 and has been asked in an entrance examination. What is the millimole per liter concentration of glucose? The answer again is 75, and the sodium and the glucose are there in 1:1 ratio. And what is the reason for this 1:1 ratio? Earlier it did not used to be like that. The answer to that is that we realize that the reason, since there is ongoing diarrheal losses, so there is sodium chloride losses in those stools, we have to transport sodium back into the body, otherwise the child will become hyponatremic. And the easy way to do that is the SGLT1 transporter, which transports sodium and glucose in 1:1 ratio, and that is the reason the ORS solution that we have right now has sodium and glucose in 75 mmol per L, that is 1:1 ratio, so that it stimulates this SGLT1 transporter in the intestinal epithelium and intestinal crypts, and these are not affected by the diarrheal illnesses. The cholera toxin, the other toxins, even the rotavirus toxins do not tend to affect this SGLT1 transporter. It is unaffected and can still easily transport sodium and glucose in a 1:1 ratio, and that is the reason ORS is also present in 1:1 ratio. So I told you that you can have, after examining the child, you can recognize that the child has no dehydration, some dehydration, or severe dehydration. In case of no dehydration, the loss in body weight is less than 5%. The estimated fluid deficit because of the diarrheal losses is less than 50 ml per kg, and the plan for treatment is called Plan A. In case of some dehydration, the loss in body weight is around 5 to 10%, 50 to 100 ml per kg, and the treatment plan is called Plan B. And in case of severe dehydration, the loss in body weight is more than 10% of the original body weight. The fluid deficit is estimated to be more than 100 ml per kg, and the plan is called Plan C. So let's look at each plan individually. So let's say a child comes to you with diarrheal losses, diarrhea for 1 or 2 days. However, you assess that the diarrheal losses has caused a minimal dehydration. The hydration status of our body is relatively preserved. So we'll assume that the diarrheal losses are in the tune of less than 50 ml per kg, or less than 5% or less than 5% of body weight, in which we just have to replenish the ongoing diarrheal losses. So with every stool you have to give ORS. For a child who is less than 2 years old, give around 50 to 100 ml with each stool. For a child who's 2 to 10 years old, give around 100 to 200 with each diarrheal stool. And the child who's more than 10 years old, give around more than 200 or as much as he feels like drinking. So that daily you are giving supplementing ORS in the tunes of 500 ml for a child who's less than 2 years old. So you know, a child who's around 2 years old will have a body weight around 10 to 12 kg. So that becomes around 50 ml per kg. As I told you, less than 50 ml per kg is the fluid deficit. So on a daily basis, the fluid that has to be replaced by the ORS, which every stool has to be around 50 ml per daily, that has to be the additional fluid that has to be given by ORS, around 500 ml per daily. For a child who's 2 to 10 years old, that increases to 1000 ml or 1 liter. For a child who's more than 10 years, it becomes around 2000 ml per day or ad lib. Plan B. Now this child has some dehydration. The diarrheal losses has resulted in a weight loss of around 5 to 10% or 50 to 100 ml per kg for fluid deficit. Now every child has, in this case, the fluid replacement is going to be managed under 3 headings. There is some daily fluid requirement that you have to calculate, and this is the fluid requirement that is in a normal individual that you have to give irrespective of the child had diarrhea or not. Second, since he already has a 5 to 10% weight loss and a 50 to 100 ml per kg deficit of fluids, you have to replenish that. That is a part of the deficit replacement or the rehydration therapy. And then you have to manage the ongoing losses that he will continue to have because of the acute diarrhea. That is initially a self-limiting illness, but you have to manage those ongoing fluid losses. So the daily fluid requirement is calculated by this Holliday-Cigar formula. It basically goes that for the first 10 kg, you are going to calculate the fluid requirement, daily fluid requirement as 100 ml per kg. So let's say a child who is 9 kgs, his daily fluid requirement is going to be 900 ml. After 10 kg, for the next 10 kgs, you are going to add 50 ml per kg, not 100 ml per kg. So for example, a child who is 15 kgs, for the first 10 kgs, we are going to take 100 ml per kg. So his daily fluid requirement is going to be 1000 ml per day. On top of that, he's 15 kgs, so 5 kgs extra. 5 into 50 becomes 250. So basically for a child, let's assume a child is 15 kgs For the first 10 kg, it becomes 1000 ml. For the next 5 kg, 5 into 50 becomes 250 ml. The daily fluid requirement for a 15 kg child will become 1250 ml per day. For a child who's 21 kg, for example, let's say 21 kg, in case of 21 kg, for the first 10 kg, we calculate the fluid requirement as 100 ml per kg. So that becomes 1000 ml. For the next 10 kg as 50 ml per kg. For the next 10 kgs, it will be 50 into 10, that will be 500 ml. So it will become 1500 ml. On top of that 1500 ml, the child has 1 kg extra. So that will become 20 ml for that extra kg, 20. So that child will have a fluid requirement around 1520 ml per day. So depending upon the weight of the child, the daily fluid requirement is calculated. That has to be given irrespective of the fact irrespective of the diarrheal losses that he is having. Now, since he already has some dehydration, we have to rehydrate for that loss. In some dehydration, the estimated fluid deficit is 50 to 100 ml. So taking a mid value of that, that is 75 ml per kg. We have to replenish 75 ml per kg over 4 hours. It can be given either by orally or by a nasogastric tube. So if the child is drinking, he's thirsty and he's drinking, we can easily replenish that value. We have to give that much amount of ORS over 4 hours. But if he's not drinking, then you have to replenish that fluid volume by inserting an NG tube in that child. So let's say if the child was, say, 10 kg with 75 ml per kg, you have to give 750 ml of fluid to that child. This is on top of the holiday cigar that we have already calculated. So for a 10 kg child, the daily fluid requirement is going to be 1000 ml. Because I multiplied 10 with 100 as far as the holiday cigar formula is concerned. But we have to replenish the fluid deficit that has already been going on at 75 ml per kg. So on top of the 1000 ml that he is going to get daily, on top of that we have to give 750 ml immediately over 4 hours, either orally or by NG. That is 75 ml per kg. If you don't know the weight of the child, for example, the weighing machine is not working, or if you are working in a primary health center, the weighing machine might not be there, but you will know the age of the child. So depending upon the age of the child, we can make a rough estimate of the amount of ORS that needs to be given over 4 hours. So if the child is less than 4 months old, the rough amount is roughly 200 to 400. 4 to 12 months, there are incremental increases by 200 ml till the age of 2 years. From 2 to 4 years, it's 800 to 1200 ml. From 5 years to 14 years, 1200 to 2200 ml, and more than 15 years, it's more than 2.2 liters. So depending upon the weight of the child, we can calculate what is the daily fluid requirement, what is the rehydration that we have to give. And then you have to give maintenance in order to replace ongoing losses. So he's going to have ongoing losses because of his going to pass stool. So you have to give ORS with every stool at the rate of 10 ml per kg. So to simplify it further, you have a child, let's say a 10 kg child comes to you. First we have to, and he has some dehydration. He has some dehydration. So according to plan B, the fluid requirement is going to be calculated under 3 heading. The first is what is the daily fluid requirement, the DFR, the daily fluid requirement. That is going to be calculated on the basis of the holiday cigar formula. So for the first 10 kg, we are going to assume 100 ml per kg. So the daily fluid requirement of this child becomes 1000 ml. This has to be given over a period of 1 day to the child because that is the daily fluid requirement. Then because the child is in some dehydration, we have to replenish that hydration status. We have to rehydrate that child. That rehydration has to occur at 75 ml per kg. So this is 10 kg, so that has to be 750 ml. The 750 ml needs to be given over 4 hours. Either you can give orally, but if he's not taking orally, you have to supplement it through the nasogastric tube over 4 hours. And next is the maintenance. The maintenance that you have to give. Even after this, the child is going to have some losses because he's going to be going to have diarrhea. So with every stool, you have to give 10 ml per kg. So if it's 10 kg, the child is 10 kg in weight, you have to give 100 ml of ORS with every stool. So they can give you a very complex scenario saying the child had a 10 kg child presents to you. What is the total amount of fluid that you might need to give if the child passed 10 stools in a day and he had some dehydration? In such a scenario, the daily fluid that you have to give is 1000 ml. You gave him 750 ml because of to replenish this, rehydrate the child, replenish his hydration status, and he had 10 stool. So with every stool you gave him 100 ml based on 10 ml per kg. So he had 10 stool, so extra of 1000 ml. So the total fluid that the child received in that day will be 2750 ml. And you can have multiple scenarios in such a cases, and you have to calculate the fluid requirement, and this can be asked especially in your AIIMS entrance examination. Now, what are the total fluid that you will be giving to the child in one particular day? They can ask you a very simple question also, that you have to just rehydrate the child, calculate the fluid requirement, that is just 75 ml per kg. They can ask you what is the daily fluid requirement, that will be based on holiday cigar. So for the child is 10 kg, it is 100 ml per kg. 10 to 20, add 50 ml per kg. More than 20, 20 ml per kg. So child, let's say, is 11 kg. The fluid requirement will become, for the first 10 kg, 100 ml per kg, that is 1000 ml. The next 1 kg extra will 50 ml, so the fluid requirement will become 1050 ml per kg. If it's 15 kg, that will become 1250. If it's 20 kg, that will become 1500 ml. Replace his ongoing fluid loss, rehydrate the child at 75 ml per kg. And then the ongoing fluid losses have to be taken care with the 10 ml per kg with every diarrheal stool. That was for a child who was having some dehydration. Now, if the child has severe dehydration, the amount of fluid loss is estimated to be more than 100 ml per kg. So you have to replenish that 100 ml per kg immediately. If the child is less than 1 year old, you have to give it over 6 hours. If the child is more than 1 year old, you have to give it over 3 hours. The first 30 ml per kg has to be given in 1 hour if the child is less than 1 year old, and the rest 70 ml per kg has to be given over 5 hours. The first 30 ml per kg has to be given if the child is more than 1 year old in the first 30 minutes, and if he's more than the next 70 ml per kg of the 100 ml per kg has to be given over 2.5 hours. Let's say they give you a scenario, the child has severe dehydration. He's a 10 kg child. So you have to give 100 ml per kg. So that becomes 1000 ml. He's more than 1 year old. His 10 kg is more than 1 year old. So you have to give it over 3 hours. In the first half hour, you will give 300 ml. You will give 300 ml. In the next 2.5 hour, you will give 700 ml. So that a total of 1000 ml at 100 ml per kg for a 10 kg child has to be given. You can easily modify this scenario in other cases also. That let's say the child was 8 kgs and he was less than 1 year old. So you have to give 100 ml per kg, that becomes 800 ml. He's less than 1 years old, so you have to give 30 ml per kg over 1 hour, not 30 minutes. So that becomes 240 ml. You have to give 240 ml over 1 hour, and the remaining volume you have to give over 5 hours. But if the child was, let's say, 9 kg but age was more than 1 year, you have to decrease the amount of time in which you have to give. In such a case, you have to give 900 ml, out of which 30 ml has to be given on the 30 minutes, and the rest has to be given over the next 2.5 hours. That is how you will manage the hydration status of the child. Apart from that, like I told you, the 3 other principles, you have to ensure adequate feeding. There's some principle that you don't have to give food which are rich in fiber because they will promote the diarrhea. You give very high energy dense food that need to be supplemented with extra oil, extra butter. Give oral supplementation of zinc. So you have to give 20 mg of zinc for 14 days in children who are more than 6 months of age. So any child who's more than 6 months of age comes to you, has a diarrheal disease, it has dehydration, supplement zinc as 20 mg of elemental zinc for next 14 days. And at the same time, if there are any other complications that are occurring because of the diarrhea, manage those complications according to the respective guidelines. So that's how you'll manage a child who's presenting to you with dehydration. Thank you.